Welcome to Fox Valley in Focus. I'm your host, Barb Nadeau, and today our guests include Nikisha Stepney. She is the Dean for Business, Careers and Technologies at Waubonsee Community College. We have Greg Wittek, who is the board chairman for the newly reorganized Kendall County Community Food Pantry, and Bob Hausler, mayor of Plano, to round out our show talking about fishing with the mayor. We'll get started in just a moment.
Their support changed my life.
They were like family.
My voice is now heard.
A home for every animal.
My future is bright because they cared.
This is our home now.
Thank you to the 1,200 nonprofits that serve Cass and Clay counties every day.
Nikisha Stepney is our first guest today. Nikisha, thank you for being with us on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Right before we went on the air, I was asking you a little bit more about this this job that you have as Dean here in Business, Career and Technologies, and what you do for Waubonsee Community College.
So as the Dean for Business and Career Technologies, I work with both faculty, staff, and students to oversee and run the operations of the division to ensure that all of our classes run, that all of the needs of our instructors are met, and to do some strategic and long-range planning regarding the types of programs and courses that we'll offer for students in the future. It
must be a really interesting job because you're working with young people and you're also working with the instructors, a lot of facilities.
Yes.
That's a lot when you talk about the technological classes that are offered at a college like Waubonsee.
Absolutely. In addition to the variety of people that I work with, I work across a variety of different departments in order to execute some of the things that we need to do. You would think that sitting down to plan a schedule in advance for students of the types of classes would just be something that we think of and go ahead and schedule, but we have to make sure that the facilities are the way that they need to be, that the software. So we work with IT, operations, and a variety of different departments, including human resources, to secure instructors and help us work through the hiring processes.
Now, we're here today to talk about a very important project. So on top of all of that, you are heading up the VITA program, the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. Tell us about VITA.
VITA is a fantastic program, and while there are many things that I do enjoy about my job, it has to be definitely in the top three. The Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program allows us to be able to partner with the Center for Economic Progress out of Chicago to help prepare taxes for low to moderate income families and individuals.
Okay, so there is an income guideline to be involved in the program. And is it offered here on campus?
No, it actually runs out of our downtown Aurora location at 18 South River Street. And for the most part, it has since the inception of the program. We're actually going into our 12th year partnering with the center, and it's just been a fantastic partnership. And so we don't offer services here. They're all offered out of the downtown Aurora location.
Okay. Do I have to live in the city of Aurora to take advantage of the VITA program?
Absolutely not. And in fact, the centers partner with a multitude of different organizations. So we're not the only VITA site in the general area. So we may have clients coming into the VITA location from a variety of different places. So it's not a necessity that you actually be a resident of Aurora or a resident within Waubonsee's district.
Now, are you enlisting the help of students or people who have an association with the college?
We have a variety of different volunteers who continue to be dedicated and return year after year.
Okay, so they may have started here, but they're going to keep coming back.
Yes, absolutely. They return every single year. In addition to that, we do have students, and part of what we do with the VITA program is also a service learning class that we created to be coupled with the actual site. So students register for Accounting 245. And they actually take the class, and it allows them to get some real-world hands-on experience with customer service, preparing the taxes for the clients. And so it's not just the VITA site itself, it's the service learning opportunities for our students.
So these students are taking the class, they're learning it, it's fresh in their minds.
Yes.
They're getting the latest information on changes in the tax code.
Yes.
So they're totally up to date when they're making tax tax returns for the people who come in?
Yes, there's required training for all of the volunteers that is sponsored or taught by the Center for Economic Progress, which has an IRS-approved VITA program. So all of them get training. In addition to that, also there's an ethics component to the training that actually occurs as well, because we're really dealing with a lot of sensitive information. We're dealing with people who are low to moderate income, so when they're coming into the site, it's not just about our technical expertise and being able to prepare the taxes, but allowing the people to actually feel comfortable, maintain their dignity, because some of the challenges that they face are not things that you want to sit down and talk about, but are necessary to actually help them prepare for the future.
When does this start? And how many days do you have to, and how do you register?
Well, it's on a first come, first serve basis for clients. We like to call them
that's
clients.
nice. That's
first come,
very
first
nice.
serve.
Okay.
And to go back just a little bit for income qualifications, it's $50,000 for a family or $25,000 or less for an individual to be able to qualify for the free tax services.
But they don't have to call ahead and make a reservation.
No.
They can actually walk right in, and if they're prepared, have their taxes done.
Absolutely. We operate the site on Wednesdays and Saturdays. On Wednesday evenings, it's from 5:30 to 8 p.m. And then on Saturdays, it's from 10 to 1. So no appointments necessary. It will require possibly for them to wait. Usually we have a rush of people coming in sort of towards the last minute, of course, because no one wants to file their taxes, right? But during the month of February, things are a little calm. We launched the site this upcoming tax season on January the 21st.
Okay. So, and you'll be running it with dates all the way through to tax day?
That is correct.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
What about someone who doesn't speak English?
We try to have volunteers who actually speak other languages. Most of the clients that we see speak Spanish. Okay. And so we actually have a legal interpreting program where students are actually able to do their field experience providing translation services while the clients are getting their taxes prepared. And so we find that to be very valuable because it adds, several more people to be able to assist these clients and help them get the service that they need.
It also incorporates students from different, different trains of education,
Yes.
Coming in, and what a value to all of the students that are involved. This is wonderful.
Absolutely. We are very proud of this program and hope that we can continue to do good work for the community.
How many tax returns have you done, like, in an average year?
Oh, let me tell you. So last year we prepared 1,750 tax returns with 52 volunteers. So 52 volunteers actually saw and prepared for about 930 clients, 1,750 tax returns. So they do the preparation for both the federal and the state taxes.
And they're done there.
They're done on site.
And by the time they walk out of the building, they've got it all done. It's already filed?
Already filed electronically.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Any idea how much money you've brought back to the community? I just can imagine that for these low-income families, having this done
Yes.
At no charge to them, this is just a wonderful boon to them and then to everyone else too.
Absolutely. Last year was about $1.8 million. And over the life of the program, it has been over $14 million that we have returned to the local community.
Nikisha, it's so good to have you talk about this. Can you close this out with where we can learn more?
You can learn more by contacting my division office, which is Business and Career Technologies, at 630-466-2263. You can also visit Waubonsie's website. And if people are interested in actually volunteering and becoming a part of the great work that we do and the goodwill that we do in the community through the VITA program, they can register as a volunteer through the Center for Economic Progress.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with more right after this.
Their support changed my life.
They were like family.
My voice is now heard.
A home for every animal.
My future is bright because they cared.
This is our home now.
Thank you to the 1,200 nonprofits that serve Cass and Clay counties every day.
Joining us now is Greg Wittek. He is the board chairman for the newly reorganized Kendall County Community Food Pantry. And Greg, thank you so much for being here on our show.
It's great to be here.
You are also fire chief for Little Rock Fox Fire Protection District.
I am.
You carry a lot of hats, and I think wherever you go in the community, you throw another hat on.
You have to be very careful to know which hat's on.
So why did you jump in with 2 feet to the Kendall County Community Food Pantry?
Well, without going too deeply into my my interpersonal goals, I heard the news story one night about the search warrants being executed by the Yorkville police, and the next morning I woke up and just felt a real call to find out if we could even help. So I called a friend of mine locally, and the rest is history.
The Kendall County Food Pantry is just an amazing place, and now newly reorganized under the new name. Really, it's not any different there. It's just a resurgence of pride and a resurgence of mission, isn't it?
Sure. I mean, it was if you are a client of our food pantry and you don't watch the news and don't look at all the things passing by, you would not even know that it changed. You show up every 2 Thursdays a month, and you get the things that you need to offset expenses in your family, and everything operates the same way. There's a lot that's gone on differently in the background to make that happen, but the end result, which is the most important thing we do, serve clients, hasn't changed.
Well, in almost any organization, all across America for the last several years, there's always been something, looming. It's hit every community that there's been some type of financial fraud or something like that. What's the status right now?
Well, what's in the public eye is that there were search warrants executed. There was a couple of people that resigned from the board. There was the death of the former executive director that came out of all of this. And so the end result of that is that there is a criminal investigation going on sort of behind the scenes that went from Yorkville Police. Now there's an Illinois special prosecutor been assigned to the case, and we check with him probably almost weekly, and we're assured that it's still on the radar screen of this gentleman, but we're contending for his time with murder investigations and other things. So while it's a few $100,000 that went missing, it doesn't always get to the front burner of his work, but he assures us that it's in the works.
Okay, small potatoes on the big scheme of things.
Sure.
It hit our community, like a blow, and startled everybody. But that again is not the story. The story really is the Kendall County Community Food Pantry. So tell me about the money coming in, donations coming in, and food coming in, and the impact that has in the community.
Well, there's cash that comes in from donors. There's also food and clothing and all sorts of items. We have a really neat concept called the Red Door Room that's open 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365. And you open that each morning, and goods and clothes and food show up in it every single night of the week from the public. And then, of course, we have a PayPal account that people can donate money through, and then people bring us checks and cash all the time. What's important to note, though, is that we don't have any payroll at our food pantry. We are unique in that aspect. There might be some tiny churches or some really small food pantries that are done completely with volunteers, but we're the only one at the scale we're running at that we know of that is still done with completely volunteer labor. So that means that all the cash that is donated goes into either food or paying. We have gas and electric bills. We put fuel in our vehicles. But there's no payroll, and in any organization, payroll is the big cost.
And I know you get a lot of your food from the Northern Illinois Food Bank.
We do.
Tell our audience that magic that happens with their dollar.
Well, because of the National Organization of Feeding America, and then a local organization, which is the Northern Illinois Food Bank that handles the 13 counties in Northern Illinois, and generous donations from manufacturers, distributors, and everybody in the food chain, every dollar that we get literally winds up being about $8 in food that's delivered to our clients. So it's an incredible ratio. If in this time of the year, people are real generous, and they're thinking about end-of-year gifts. So when you donate $100, it really does wind up being about $800 in food that's delivered to families in need. It's amazing.
And these winter months, you know, it's easy to think about giving at certain times of the year, but
Sure.
hey, you know, right now here in the middle of winter, don't forget your pantry because they
No,
need
not at
you.
all. I mean, in addition to our Thursday food delivery, we distribute food each Thursday, and it's somewhere around 300 families, plus or minus 50 households. And we also do a Thanksgiving food drive where we delivered almost 700 complete turkeys with all the trimmings and dinner, and we'll do it again next Thursday on the 22nd of December for the pre-registered clients, almost 800 Christmas dinners with all of the trimmings. So all of the money that we've taken in and the food and things like that will get bundled up into these meals as well as the Thursday deliveries.
How many volunteers do you have?
There are about 90 on the roster, and any given Thursday on delivery day, there's maybe 45 or 50 there. But what people don't see is the other 6 days of the week, we're in operation. We have a truck that goes to all of the local grocery stores, and that route is going every single morning, 6 days a week. There are people there on Mondays getting ready. There are people there on Wednesday night cleaning up produce and making it nice for the clients. And it's a 7 day, almost a 7 day a week operation in preparation for Thursday delivery.
So now that you've gotten, you know, you've jumped in with both feet into into this organization, tell me, what is it like for you?
It is the most amazing thing I've ever been a part of, partially because it's all volunteers, which has its own personality and spirit associated with it, because I am one of the younger people there. There are people in their 50s and 60s and 70s, and we have a couple of them that are in their 80s that are just powerhouses for caring. I mean, they're so laser focused on caring for our clients, you just can't believe it. So you can't help not be infected by that once you're a part of the organization. At least I couldn't. It was a fish hook in, and
Yeah.
the rest was history.
And now both you and your wife are both
Yeah, my
very
wife
much involved in
took
it.
Lynn a few weeks, but I finally talked her into coming over, and she has not missed a Thursday since. It's a wonderful opportunity to give back to the community. But this is really special because the people that are there, real quickly, I used to think when Lynn and I were just financial donors to the food pantry that it was a certain class of, a certain group of our population that were there. And now that I'm in there, I find out that well over 3/4 of the people that are there every Thursday are you and me and the rest
That's
of us.
the surprising thing that
It was
people
just
don't
amazing
realize.
to me. I mean, it's the peer group of people who have full-time jobs, but they get hit by a medical emergency or an illness in their family or some other tragedy, where now a few $100s in food every month can make the difference between making it or not making it. It's great.
It's really something that sobers you up when you walk in and you actually experience a distribution day there, and you realize that all of us are maybe 1 or 2 paychecks
Exactly.
away from being a patron there.
Yeah, and we don't just deliver food. We're called the Food Pantry, but we're a little unique in the fact that we've got personal hygiene products and all sorts of other things. Clothes, our clothing area just continues to grow and grow each year.
Well, it is an amazing place, and it's an amazing story, and I wish we could talk forever, but before we go, what's your website?
Our website is www.kccfoodpantry.org.
kccfoodpantry.org. And distribution day is on Thursdays, and if you want more information, check them out on the web. Thank you,
good.
Greg, for being with us
Thanks,
today on
Barb.
Fox Valley in Focus.
Great to be a part of it.
We'll be right back right after this.
Their support changed my life.
They were like family.
My voice is now heard.
A home for every animal.
My future is bright because they cared.
This is our home now.
Thank you to the 1,200 nonprofits that serve Cass and Clay counties every day.
Bob Hausler, the mayor of Plano, joins us now, rounding out our show, and it's great to have you always when you're here on Fox Family in Focus. Thanks for being here, Bob.
Thanks for having me here today.
And you're smiling, but you know, this kind of weather, not a lot of people are smiling. You're always smiling in this kind of weather.
Oh yeah, I enjoy the winter and the 4 seasons, so this type of weather doesn't bother me.
And I know you're getting ready for a very special event that's near and dear to your heart.
Yes, we're getting ready for our 4th annual, it's called the Plano Molding Frabill Ice Fishing for Foley Park event.
4 years.
Yes, this is the 4th year. We started it 4 years ago after Plano Molding and Plano Synergy purchased the Frabill Company, which is one of the largest ice fishing equipment manufacturers in the world.
And of course, you jumped in and said, yeah, I want to do this.
Yeah, and meeting with the folks from Plano, they also jumped in and came forward and are offering some great giveaways and great prizes for our raffles.
You know, Plano is kind of unique. You know, every community has their festivals, but well, we've got Superfest. You know, and we're the only people that have Superfest, honoring comic characters. You know, in downtown in the summertime. Then we just had our Rockin' Christmas celebration over the holidays to help the needy families in Plano, and then now you're fishing in the middle of winter down at Foley Park.
Yes, and it's amazing because back after I was elected mayor, I wanted to have a fishing event for kids and families in our community, and so I started a fishing event during the summer. And during that event, we usually get maybe 40 or 50 kids and families to the event. Well, the first year that we had the ice fishing event, we had well over 150 people at the event, and it's been growing ever since.
Really?
Yeah, and you would think it'd be just the opposite. In the summer, it's 80 degrees, winter in the 20s, if we're lucky.
But everybody wants to experience ice fishing, and now is the lake covered with ice right now? Is it?
It is, and we have a criteria that we go by through the city's insurance to make sure the safety of our residents and the folks that attend the event.
Okay, now do people actually catch fish?
Oh yeah, they catch a lot of fish, usually more than during the summer event.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they're hungry?
And it's a little bit easier, and there's places on the lake that you can access easier than from the shore. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
so what kind of fish do they catch?
Well, we stock the lake with trout for the event, and then there's largemouth bass, crappies, and sunfish.
Okay, is this like catch and release, or do they get to take them home and fry them up?
Actually, everything but the bass they can take. The bass, we ask that they're catch and release.
It must be pretty exciting, especially for little ones to experience that. It's just such a different thing. If you've never seen ice fishing, just to experience how it happens and what you have to do, but then to see a kid, you know, anytime you see a kid catch a fish. But
right, and we provide everything that anyone would need to ice fish. We even, Plano Molding has shelters set up on the ice that people can use if the weather's not too great. They can get out of the weather and get in a shanty that's set up on the ice. We also provide fishing poles, bait, and we put the holes in for people. And then we also have experts going around, pro staff folks from Plano Molding that go around and show people how to ice fish. And then we have other pro staff people from the electronics industry of ice fishing to go around and demonstrate their products too.
now, when is it going to be?
It's February 11th, 2017 this
And
year.
is there a schedule for the day? When does it start?
It starts at 9 in the morning, ends at 4, and all through the day we do fun things to give away prizes and have a fun event for everyone.
And now, do you have food available and hot beverages?
Last year we actually had Tony's Tacos truck was at the event, and we're hoping to have him there again this year for food and that. We always have cookies and that too, so.
So it's one of those things where you can come, spend as much time as you want. It's free.
Actually, we ask the adults, anyone over 18, to purchase a raffle ticket that helps
Okay.
pay for the stocking of the lake and to support. The proceeds would go for the park.
And the kids get to have the fun.
Yes, yes.
That's really wonderful. And the raffle ticket, I mean, so no one loses. I mean, you get the great day, you get a chance to support the town, support the park, and you just get an awesome experience.
Yes, and the raffle is for Plano Frable Shelter, brand new shelter that's there at the event. And then there's also other prizes that are raffled that Plano donates to the event.
Now, tell me about the park itself. How does this event help Foley Park?
Well, we do this stocking of the fish with the proceeds, and then also we have a big project going on this next summer that will make a lot of improvements to the park. We have about $400,000 that we have committed to the park. There's $202,000 from the state that we're getting a grant for. The other $202 will come from the city's park fund.
Okay. So what kind of things are you going to do to improve Foley
There's
Park?
going to be a multi-use path around the lake of the park, and then we also have ADA accessibility added to the park for a fishing pier, and also a shelter that's going to be put in the park, and other amenities to improve it.
Okay, that's fantastic. It's really going to be a wonderful asset. You know, all of those things that you have mentioned, just adding more recreational opportunities for the people of Plano. But what a fun way to be able to help the park. You know, to do it in the middle of winter.
Oh yeah, and those that don't know where the park is, we welcome everyone from every community to the event, and we get a lot of people from out of town to have the fun. It's they go south on Hale Street to Larson Street, and Larson Street is directly across from our middle school, so that's would be their directions to the event.
Very easy to find. And one of the things that I think is really good about this event is the partnership with the business community. And, you know, not just the Plano Molding Company, but obviously other, you know, businesses. You've got a food vendor that's getting involved. And so just to have these other business components, these businesses come in and be part of it is a boon to Plano as well.
Oh yeah, and I don't want to not mention Rural King. They've contributed a lot to the event. They actually provide the bait that we give to people, and also, you know, provide other things for the event too. So we do have a lot of businesses that support it. The BP supplies cookies, and Casey's also supplies cookies for the event.
Okay, so where can we learn more, Bob?
We have a Facebook event page. It's Plano Molding /Frable Ice Fishing for Foley Park.
Okay. Bob Hausler, our guest here on Fox Valley in Focus, and we've had a great show, and I'm just so glad to be part of it. I'm Barb Nadeau, happy to be here with Fox Valley Television, and we'll see you next time.
Thank
you.